SmackDown was a clusterfuck, wasn't it? So, we're going to talk about AEW Impact. I'm going to talk a little bit about NXT and SmackDown this week. Kind of broaden the horizons. As always, joining me this week on the Shooting Star Press is my co-host. He's going to be show up right over here. His name is Mr. T, a.k.a. The Judge. How you doing, sir?
What is up, Mr. Gorekeeper? And with that being said, AEW is what rocked it this week. I'm just going to put that out there. That's why I had the belt. Anyways, I didn't get a chance to see any SmackDown, so what all happened?
Let's see. What did happen? Bianca Belair and Bayley had a match.
Alright.
Bianca won, which is good. I like her a lot. The EST WWE. She's fantastic. I hope she wins the Rumble. Her or Rhea Ripley, actually. I'm hoping wins Rumble. I just mumbled a lot right there. Dominic Mysterio and Baron Corbin had a very spotty match. Not in a good way either. Not like fun spots. But like, there was some shoddy moments for sure. Like,
right.
Dominic is still pretty green. And Corbin's not the best wrestler in the world either.
Is a little too young to be rocking it in WWE right now. He should be NXT at best.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a little green. And then the main event, that's the next big thing that was of any substantial thing, was supposed to be AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Sounds awesome, right? It's like pay-per-view quality match. So and it started at like 8:20, so it's like, wow, we're gonna get like a 40-minute AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan match. Well, then interference happened, and it turned to a 6-man tag, and then that 6-man tag got interfered with and got thrown out, became an 8-man tag. Then that match got thrown out and became a 10-man tag. At the very end of it, Braun Strowman comes back and lays out everybody, and that's how SmackDown ended. And everyone kept telling me how good SmackDown was and that I should watch it because it's way better than Raw. And I don't know if this was a fluke week, but I did not see anything promising whatsoever on the SmackDown brand this week for me to want to watch it again next week. I don't care.
In my opinion, it's like each wrestling program is like a horse in a race, and each week that one of these horses ultimately wins, in my opinion, and that one was by far AEW for solely like maybe 2 matches is the main reason why I think AEW is better this week. But we'll get on. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But after that match, with Jungle Boy,
oh, so good.
Like, I don't know. Like, at first when you were saying that Daniel Bryan and AJ are gonna have like potentially a 40-minute match, like my first thought goes,
oh jeez,
they're trying to compete.
Here we go.
Oh gosh,
I will never. Corbin is a barnacle on the ass of WWE.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, that's hilarious. I was gonna make a SpongeBob reference because I know Shad would probably get it, and so would Preston.
References. I've seen a ton of SpongeBob. My kid loved it.
Yeah, let's just say Baron Corbin would never be allowed in the salty Splatoon.
No, he would not. Well, actually, maybe because he was a Golden Gloves champion. Did you know that? Yeah.
Wow.
He was a Golden Gloves champion. So he could probably actually legitimately kick somebody's ass, but he's not that great of a wrestler. But know who is a good wrestler? Damian Priest. And he's everything that Baron Corbin should be. And I can't wait for his call-up, and I hope we see him in the Rumble, because Damian Priest rocks.
That is
formerly known as Punishment Martinez in Ring of Honor, if you don't know him.
I don't.
Oh,
but
he's
Damian
fantastic.
Priest, he sounds familiar. That's a this week is huge. This is the SmackDown and Raw leading up to the Rumble. Can't even spell his name right.
Yeah, it's Corbin, not K.
No. Here's a problem.
And how
with
will
Corbin.
he be the next take? I'm not even gonna entertain that idea.
Number one, his wrestling sucks. Number two, he dresses like the Shield, but is also a king. Confusing, weird. I don't get it.
And the king gimmick is stupid. Everybody who gets saddled with that sucks.
There has been so many king
except for Booker
gimmicks, and Booker is, for me personally, where it started to really suck.
I thought Booker was the only good person that got saddled with a king gimmick. Because it just went, he went so outlandish with it.
But see, Booker owned it, and that's where Corbin is sucking. He's not owning the persona, and I think one of the biggest factors that no one really thinks about is that he was kind of playing off the super popularity, I believe, of Game of Thrones. And
for sure.
And we all
with
know
that cape. I haven't even seen Game of Thrones, and I could tell it's Game of Thrones inspired.
And what's funny is we all know how horrible that series ended, and here he is still being the king for a show that no one cares about, and just wait till the next King of the Ring pay-per-view, and maybe we'll get a new king finally or something. I don't know.
If they ever do another King of the Ring, I don't know if they will.
I don't know why they don't like it.
They stopped for a couple years, didn't they? And then they brought it back?
Yeah.
Because after, who won it? King Barrett? Wade Barrett, when he got it, I think he was the last before it came back, right?
That sucks too. Like I really liked Wade Barrett as a wrestler.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, he was great.
And it sucks. It sucks what happened to him, and now we get Baron Corbin.
What a downgrade. And I used to be a fan of Baron Corbin, but
when he had long hair,
my problem
went bald, and then he didn't shave it in time, and then it just looked weird for a long time. And now you just lost all your cool credibility, and then now you're a king.
Well, I like the Lone Wolf stuff. I love his finisher. The End of Days is a fantastic finisher. It's one of my favorites.
That's what he's.
My problem is he hasn't really evolved as a character other than giving him a king gimmick.
Yeah.
And you need to continually evolve in this business to stay relevant.
Have him feud with literally anybody.
Well, and that's another problem with his booking
have the king try to come take over Roman Reigns' island. Like, there's a story for you, children. Like, the king versus Samoa. Like, I don't know.
I wouldn't mind seeing Baron versus Samoa Joe and just Samoa Joe just tearing him a new one.
Oh, yeah.
I would love that. Anyways, let's talk about the headline we have here.
Yes.
Also, did you see I figured out how to do a scrolling banner?
Wow. I guess I didn't even realize that. What does it say? Feel free to join in on the conversation. We love talking to the viewers. It's true. It's true.
We do.
It is true.
I just figured that out about 3 minutes before you jumped on.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's talk about the headline, though. The headline of our video is about Alex Shelley.
Yes.
At Hard to Kill, Impact's pay-per-view, it was supposed to be the Motor City Machine Guns, which are Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, with Rich Swann, who is the current Impact champion, versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. Alex Shelley, there was a lot of rumor going around saying he was injured or was COVID stuff. That turns out it was not the case. The real reason he wasn't there... I mean, some people even was saying that he was accused of domestic assault and all this stuff, and that never happened. The real reason he was not able to appear at Hard to Kill is because he has a job outside of wrestling. He has no contract with Impact, but he has a career as a physical therapist outside of wrestling, and so because of COVID, he hasn't gotten the vaccine. They haven't gotten the vaccine at his clinic where he works yet. And so his job was like, you either need to quit and go do your wrestling, or you need to, keep your career here, and because we can't let you travel because it's a risk to our patients if you haven't been vaccinated. So that's the reason. It's because he didn't have the vaccine yet, not because he was injured. No domestic assault. It was nothing shady.
Why didn't they just say it's COVID? He's not coming in because of COVID. They don't have to say he has it.
Well, I think people would on the internet would
it
imply
kind of
that he had COVID, and that looks bad on Impact. Then, like saying, "Oh, he got COVID because Impact doesn't run their shows with a tight ship," even though they do. They have no fans. No, they don't even have a Thunderdome.
Yeah.
But it's still, I still enjoy watching it somehow.
I
when WWE had no fans, it was so hard to get into. And that's just from a production standpoint. Like it's produced, both shows are produced so differently.
See, and that's one of the things. That's one of the things that really helped when I was getting back into watching wrestling. Because when I first got back into watching wrestling, we were all on lockdown, and I had nothing better to do. So I picked up on a few shows, and I remember watching that Monday Night Raw before my first AEW, and watching Raw with no fans. It was just really uncomfortable. And then turning right over to AEW, and then they at least had wrestlers in the stands. It totally just made sense.
To be fair, I think NXT had wrestlers in the stands first, so I'll give NXT that.
Okay.
And I have nothing against NXT. I mean,
see, I don't watch it ever.
That's the only thing under the WWE umbrella that I can give 100% props to. NXT is amazing, and this week it was actually really good. Like I highly enjoyed NXT this week. They're doing the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic right now, and they have a Women's Tag Team Classic right now. And the matches in there were fantastic. Kushida from New Japan, he's in NXT right now. If you didn't, I know you probably don't know who Kushida is from New Japan because he left NXT before you started watching New Japan. But he feuded a lot with Time Bomb Takahashi, Hiromu Takahashi. If you remember him, he had like the red tips and the longer hair. The crazy pants with the pink fluff.
Maybe.
From Wrestle Kingdom. He wrestled both nights.
Yeah, it feels like that was so long ago now. Like it feels like
this month.
I know, but it feels like it was like 3 weeks
2 weeks ago.
It feels like it was like 4 weeks ago. I'm not even kidding you.
No, it hasn't been that long. Well, anyways, him and Kushida had a long-running feud, and Kushida pretty much did everything he could in New Japan, and now he's in NXT, and he's doing really great work. So let's go into our first segment of the week because we're getting along here.
All right.
So first segment of the week, as always, wrestler of the week, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's these three up on your screen right now. It's just three really good wrestlers.
I think Kenny's the best in that picture.
Yeah, but Okada, man, he's something else. And Jericho, I think, is the GOAT, so that's why I put them all on there.
Yeah.
Those are Jericho's probably going to go down as my favorite wrestler of all time.
Really?
Like, probably, just because how relevant he's been able to stay and all the different personas and catchphrases he's given us. His wrestling style continues to adapt to the way he ages and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, he first as a cruiserweight, now he's wrestling as like a heavyweight and but can still do some cruiserweight stuff. He was a technician. I mean, he just was the whole package. Okada, I'd never seen a bad Okada match in my entire life.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega, I've seen some stinkers, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Kenny's probably my current favorite wrestler, but I would say Okada is probably a better wrestler, if that makes sense.
Right.
I like Kenny more, but I think Okada is technically, in technical terms, I think Okada is the better wrestler. Well, but that's not what we're here to debate.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about our wrestler of the week.
Yes.
Which is neither Okada, Jericho, or Omega for me. This week, it was Jungle Boy.
Ooh, okay.
Jungle Boy had a match against Dax Hardwood of the FTR. I just thought it was fantastic. And he won the match, which was really surprising because I thought they'd want to keep FTR strong, looking like the number one contenders that they are. But they gave Jungle Boy the win, and it was as clean as a whistle. So I was really shocked. And it was an awesome, engaging match.
I'm glad you said that because mine is actually Dax Hardwood.
That's interesting.
And here's my reason why I went with him and not Jungle Boy. I already know Jungle Boy's a good wrestler. I already like him. I I think if nothing else, I've been really hard on FTR or the Revival, whatever you want to call them. Just because I think
NXT days were so good, dude. You need to go back and watch their NXT Takeover matches with DIY. Holy hell, so good.
But yeah, like, and I've always been hard on them as a tag team because they don't seem interesting to me. Like, they don't have any good moves that correlate or look cool or like.
Oh, the Big Rig is awesome.
Yeah, but it's one move.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
like,
a great finisher,
I want a lot more salt and pepper than that, man. Like, don't give me just plain Jane bland crap. But anyways, I've been really hard on them a lot, and especially because they're always, you know, number one contender or always a champion, and I'm just like, why? They suck. They're no good. And, you know, that being said, and how I already like Jungle Boy and know that he's good, I had to pick Dax because he really impressed me. Like, I know that Jungle Boy was a lot more impressive during that match, but for someone who I already had been harping on and just, like, you don't impress me. Like, this was a blow my mind. Like, you really could do something if you were a singles wrestler. I mean, look at this match, you know? But what a performance. Holy crap.
Yeah. My runner-up, honestly, I had a tough time deciding between Jungle Boy and then on NXT, which I watched this week. I usually don't watch NXT weekly. I just watch it every once in a while, and I always watch the takeovers because the takeovers are amazing. Yeah. But I decided I'm going to start watching NXT just because Thursday mornings I have nothing to do or nothing to watch, so I mean, my lady goes to work and the kids are in daycare, so it's like, well, I should throw on NXT, and it's more wrestling for me, and it's good wrestling, like, it's really good. So I watched it, and Kushida was fantastic in his tag team match with Leon Ruff. They lost, unfortunately. I wanted to see Kushida go to the end, and Leon Ruff is a really good underdog story right now. So I thought they might go a little bit farther than they did, but that's all right. It's a tournament. Things happen, and we'll see how it plays out. Yeah. But, yeah, Kushida was supreme, as always. I mean, Kushida is a legend. He's going to be a Hall of Famer one day, just because of all the stuff he accomplished in New Japan. I mean, they gave it to Antonio Inoki, so, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, since Kushida's now in WWE, that he's in the Hall of Fame one day, just because of his New Japan accomplishments. And every match you see him in, he gives everything his all. And he's lately been doing a more aggressive character, which he's never done, because in New Japan he was always the babyface. And he's still a babyface now, but he's kind of a tweener, because the way he wrestles is almost heelish-like and, like, just ruthless and brutal. I mean, he's just on a tear lately, and I'm really interested in Kushida, and it looks like we're going to get Johnny Gargano versus Kushida for the North American title at the next TakeOver, which is super exciting to me. I don't know when the next TakeOver is, but I think it's soon, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
Sorry,
should we move on to our next segment?
Messaged me. I just gotta text my boss back something important.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Anyways, my runner-up, real quick before you move on, Chris Jericho, because he had the most to prove, especially after the Social Universe the week before. And if you didn't notice, they commented on, "Oh, look at that lion salt, baby."
Oh, they pushed that lion salt so hard.
They pushed it so hard, and you know, you could really see Jericho's huffing and puffing after that match, because he was really busting his ass to prove a point.
He was gassed.
Yeah, you know, that's why you see them both pick him up at the end, because he's just out of it.
Oh, man, I love Jericho, and I don't want to see him retire, but the stuff he's been doing the last, like, probably 2 months has been a slow decline, hasn't it?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't even know what it is exactly. It's just, it's not his character. I still like his character. Everything he's doing character-wise is really good. He's still amazing on the mic, of course. He always was. But I just feel like his age has rapidly caught up to him. Like, 3-4 months ago, I would have never said this about Jericho, but just recently, he looks like he's getting gassed in every match, and just, like, almost feels like he doesn't want to be there for whatever reason. I don't know if you get that vibe or not, but he doesn't seem especially enthused to be a wrestler at this time. In the ring, at least.
Yeah, and that's one thing that kind of frustrates me is you have so much potential and there's a lot you could really give and offer to the business, but do you just care about money right now? And you don't care how you just want to get paid and go home. You don't care about how it is after the fact, and I think that's one of the biggest problems in sports right now is just all this money that some of these guys are making, like especially in football. Like I'm like,
baseball,
dude,
I think is even worse.
baseball,
if I'm not mistaken.
you're getting paid so much money, and your team is losing. Quit, like, show some care,
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, our team just sucks. Whatever, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to give 100% today. Our team sucks.
Not that I don't think wrestlers don't deserve to get paid because they put their bodies on the line. Serious injuries can happen.
The amount of time they're away from their families, most people do not understand how much
they
that
couldn't do it. If they tried to do it, they couldn't last 3 months.
Like, think of being a truck driver, but instead of coming home, like going to and back, like you just keep going and going and going, and you don't stop.
Yep.
Until it's like Christmas or 4th of July, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's gotta be hard being a wrestler, and I don't mean to talk badly about Chris Jericho because I love him. Him and Eddie Guerrero are like my 2 favorite wrestlers of all time. Shawn Michaels being a close third with them guys. So I don't like talking bad about Chris Jericho, so I want to stop.
Yeah,
I really do love him. But it's going to be interesting to see.
Right now.
Huh?
I said I'm rewatching AEW right now just for something to be on the background, and it's actually on the match right now.
Well, let's move into our next segment, which is Jim Cornette looking at a dumpster fire.
Trash barrel, blah, fire.
Worst match or thing or segment, worst anything in wrestling of the week. For those of you who are new here, I know I wrote worst match. But I mean worst anything in wrestling. Yeah. So, but you guys who commonly come back already know that. I just feel like I need to say that for any new viewers. So I do have a distinct one, and it's from AEW. Okay,
I have something that's not wrestling match related.
Okay.
But more just like major, I would say pretty much major news that I think ultimately is going to be unfortunate for a lot of wrestling fans, and that is WWE Network getting peacocked. Like, it's their whole streaming service. Why?
Because Peacock is half the price of the WWE Network.
Is it really?
Plus, you get everything the WWE Network has,
thing I have to get?
And more. So it's like, why would you not do it?
Maybe I just don't know anything about it. All I know is that
I actually have Peacock, so I don't.
See, I don't have it, and it's just one more streaming service I would have to get, and I don't know.
I believe Peacock to get
so now
WWE. It's $5 a month to get the WWE Network, but there's ads. If you pay $10 a month, which is what the WWE Network costs anyways, you get the WWE Network, everything on Peacock, and no ads. That's what we do. Me and my lady got Peacock, and we play the no ads gang.
Okay.
And yeah, so I think it's a great deal. Well, and yes, Greg is right down here. Peacock does also have a free option, but the WWE Network is not included in the free version. You have to get the first tier of $5 a month at least to get the WWE Network. So be wary of that. You do need to pay the $5 a month at minimum to get WWE Network. But I would say my worst thing in wrestling of this week is that frickin' promo, that backstage segment with Darby Allin and Sting, where they said the word that they were hoodlums like 30 times, and then they started breaking windows like angry teenager Kyles punching drywall.
Okay, so that's actually probably truly my worst moment of the week is watching Sting and Darby, and I remember Snapchatting this to you.
Yeah, we talked about it when it happened.
And it's like, man, Darby throws like a girl, like even worse. Like that's not even politically right to say, so I don't know what.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but you get what I mean.
I
like,
know what you mean.
He's like throwing it like he has noodle arms and he has
so
no
daintily.
power, and it's just like, so Darby and Sting went out into the middle of the woods in the middle of nowhere, and it's all foggy and creepy, and it's like there's just one brick wall made out of nowhere with windows,
with some windows.
Yeah, perfect. Like the windows are perfectly intact, but literally there's no other walls to this building. Like, what's going on? And obviously whoever constructed it must have either cut corners on these windows, because it was like breaking plexiglass, man. Like, and even Sting like goes at it with his bat like a madman, and he's struggling. Like he can get some.
Yeah.
He gets
the
like
last
first,
window he finally
gets
got.
Like the first two, and then he's like going, and it's like not doing anything, and like Sting's hitting it with a baseball bat, and it's not going. So it's like, oh man, what did you guys do?
This segment reminded me why they don't let Darby Allin talk on the mic. He can't cut a promo to save his fucking life.
Yep.
He was so monotone and just kind of like, whatever, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I'm a skater punk and I'm mysterious. And it's just like,
right.
Get over yourself. Like, come on.
So
I hated it. And then the thing that hit me the worst though is like, yeah, I'm a hoodlum. And then Sting's like, yeah, we are hoodlums. And they kept saying how much of hoodlums they were. It's like, what
Sting, yeah, you're a hoodlum. I'm not.
Yeah, but then at the end he said, yeah, I am a hoodlum, and broke some windows. It's like, what? Like, hoodlum is such a weak word to use to describe yourself as a fighter.
Who's doing their writing right now? Like, is someone on vacation?
I don't know.
Like, come on.
It was Monday Night Raw bad. Like, that's how bad it was. Well, I hated it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was terrible. But other than that, like, I really enjoyed AEW this week. I just hated that segment. It was so bad. Actually, I didn't care for the Britt Baker and Shanna match very much. I kind of zoned out on that one a little bit just because I don't care about Britt Baker.
I love Britt Baker, and she has such... and it's probably because of the gimmick.
Your mom's a hoodlum.
Yeah, okay. But I love Britt Baker for multiple reasons. Number one, character. I'm a sucker for gimmicks, and just when she gets into that, submission finisher and puts on the glove, man, it's just like, that just seals it. Like coolest gimmick finisher of all time. Like not of all time, but like in a really long time.
Did you see the match between her and Big Swole, the cinematic match that took place in Dr. Britt Baker's office?
No. It sounds amazing, though.
Oh my god, it was ridiculous. Only Big Swole and Britt Baker could have made that work, but it was actually enjoyable. Like, all of the AEW cinematic stuff I've actually really enjoyed, and I generally hate cinematic stuff, especially when they take it too seriously.
Yes.
The only serious one that ever went well was the one against Moose and EC3. They did a cinematic match, and that was actually really good. It was super intense, and it wasn't cheesy. Like, it didn't come off as cheesy or corny. It was just brutal as all hell.
Here's another corny thing about AEW. This whole Shaquille O'Neal thing.
Oh my god, I hate it.
Like, come on. Like,
I don't want Shaq in AEW. He looks doofy. He's a goofball.
He's gonna see, but here's the thing. AEW is going to give Shaquille O'Neal what he wanted. Shaquille O'Neal wants to have a match. WWE probably didn't let it happen.
They tried to get him for so many years. There were so many times where Shaq was supposed to wrestle like Big Show or somebody at WrestleMania, and then it just stopped happening.
After the sumo match at WrestleMania like 23, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then he ended up fighting. Then he ended up fighting Floyd, like at WrestleMania 24, I think. But yeah, like I think that's why Snoop Dogg even converted to AEW, because they let him jump off the top rope. and
Oh,
do
and it was the worst splash
it
of
was
all
the
time.
worst of all time. Like there's
He
been
jumped off,
lots of
landed on
memes.
his feet, and then fell down.
Well, his knee. It's like he had, bricks tied around his knees going down his legs. Like he's just. Meh.
My lady Jamie was actually watching that match with me when Snoop Dogg jumped off the turnbuckle, and she was defending him, and she was telling me to be nice to him. He was like, "Well, could you do that?" And I went, "Probably not." And then she's like, "Well, then shut up because Snoop Dogg's awesome." So she was kind of defending him, and I get it. Like, he's not a wrestler, so we gotta cut him some slack, but it just looked funny. You gotta admit it looked funny.
It was hilarious, and I'll be happy when Cody decides to just go back to his normal music. I pray to God it happens.
I hate the Snoop Dogg
remix. And you can tell Cody doesn't like it too.
Yeah.
Like,
he's only doing it because he's on the Go Big show with Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
Which I've also been watching, by the way.
How is that? I haven't seen it.
It's alright.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, it's a competition show. Alright. Well, we are making, like, record time.
Oh,
here.
yes.
So, we can get into our next segment that we haven't done. Well, we did last week, but we didn't do it every week. Who am I?
Okay, you got somebody?
This is a round where we play 20 questions. For those of you who are new here, we play 20 questions. I had a wrestler last week, and I made Mr. T guess. So this week, I suppose it's my turn if you have a wrestler in mind.
I do, but do you have one?
I don't.
Okay, good. All right,
hold on. I gotta get the banner ready. I gotta get my counter up.
Now, I'm just gonna tell you this one thing. If you ask the right questions, you potentially will guess it sooner than later.
Wasn't that every time?
I told you the hints last week after I crushed it.
You did?
Oh, yes, I did. You see? You already forgot.
I don't remember. Alright, so, first question. Am I an active wrestler?
Ooh. Technically, yes.
Technically, okay.
I would say technically, yes.
Okay. Have I wrestled for WWE in the last 5 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, do you mean in the last 5 years, or just for the last 5 years?
In the last 5 years, at any
yes.
point.
Yes.
I'm going to take a punt here to go for the high score. Am I Samoa Joe?
No.
Ah! Damn, I was say, well, he's on commentary right now, but he's technically still a wrestler.
So
that's what I was thinking.
Here's a freebie to add on to that. He okay, guess what? It's a he.
Okay.
He has wrestled Samoa Joe, I believe. I bet he has. I'm pretty certain he's wrestled Samoa Joe. Like I would bet all my rubles on it.
Have I ever been a champion in WWE?
Yes.
I should have narrowed that down to like top champion or like mid card, but I didn't. There's so many champions. A champion in WWE, kind of not currently active, but kind of is. Fought Samoa Joe, is a man. It's a tough one. Okay, I got just ask more questions. Your high score was 13, right? I gotta get before 13.
You're supposed to ask me the questions.
All right. Let's see.
Or I could give you a hint, and then that you could subtract one as a question. Is that a rule? Can we make that up?
No, because I don't know if the hint's gonna be helpful to me or not.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Because this one is going to be a hint to ask a certain type of question that would ultimately probably not help you.
Okay. Am I still employed by WWE?
I would say no.
No.
But I mean, if the WWE came a knocking, I'm certain he would be there. It always seems like that's a thing.
Motherfucker, am I the Big Show?
No.
Oh, okay.
When has the Big Show ever wrestled Samoa Joe? I want to see that.
I don't know. He might have. Ah, shit. I gotta get it on this
What's
point.
the most... There's one... I'm not even going to tell you. No. But there's a really important question you should ask.
I don't know what that would be. Comment section, help me out. What is it? Who is it?
What was the first question I asked you last week?
It was something about AEW.
No.
No?
Alright, here's a free hint.
Okay, give me a free one.
For a short amount of time, this wrestler wrestled in the ring with no shoes and no boots. Bare naked feet. Maybe some tape wrapped around it, but yep. For an extremely short stint in his career in the 90s, you would have probably never known he wrestled for this program. There's the major hint.
So he wrestled in the 90s. But he probably fought Samoa Joe?
You're thinking way too into this, man.
Who from the 90s could have possibly maybe fought Samoa Joe? And also wrestled within the last 5 years in WWE?
I know, isn't it crazy?
Yeah, who would that be? Comments. I know there's viewers in here. Help me out. I am totally stumped. Okay, who are wrestling with
Momento. You're thinking that this is going to just screw you up too much.
It's not Haku. Haku would never wrestle for WWE again in the last 5 years because his sons are in New Japan.
Oh,
I feel like he might have been shoeless at one point.
Shoeless Joe.
Was... Who the fuck wrestled barefoot in the 90s?
I don't know, man.
I can only think of Rusev and fucking Matt Riddle for... Oh, who is that? Who is...
Nothing. Nothing, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, what? This over here? Ah, yes. We have very cool Smash and Slam Hogan from Toy Biz, 1999, baby.
Not that. Your pocket.
And you know what? I think it's time that we let him breathe. What do you think?
I think after this round. Or is this a hint?
We'll see.
Okay, you know what?
If you get it right, we'll open it up.
Am I a Hall of Famer?
You will be.
Damn it, I had someone in mind if I was a Hall of Famer. So I'm not Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, even though I'm pretty sure he wore boots his entire career and he didn't wrestle Samoa Joe, that's for sure, but I was just free balling. I can't tell who that is in your pocket.
I know, this is actually the answer is in my pocket.
And it's so hard to see on your camera. I can't tell who it is, and it's really pissing me off.
It's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers of all time, and it's for one reason. It's because of this video game that I got for the PlayStation 2 called Legends of Wrestling.
Doesn't help me at all.
All right.
Okay. So
this wrestler This
I'm
wrestler
focusing on the barefoot thing. I shouldn't.
This wrestler has had arguably the most disappointing and controversial world title reign. And when I say world title, that includes any major title you could think of, like specifically
most controversial.
Specifically the WWE title. This wrestler probably has a certain favorite day of the week. Only because it correlates with maybe a nickname.
Dude, I am the worst at this game. I can't even think of another question because you give me so many hints.
Where's John when you need him?
No shit. I need John here. I don't know when he's coming back, if he is ever coming back, honestly.
Alright, so 4106 into this. Alright.
Alright, hold on. Let me ask another question. Am I most known for wrestling in the Attitude Era?
No.
No, okay.
Okay, and when you say Attitude Era, you're talking WWF, definitely not that. I mean, he might have been a wrestler during that time. He was definitely a wrestler during that time, but he was not in the WWF during the Attitude Era.
Was I in WCW prior to joining WWF?
Yes and no. WCW.
I need clarification.
WCW, yes. But the destination after that was not WWE. It was a different company. So think, Brando.
Eddie Guerrero went straight 90s, from WCW.
90s WCW. He didn't wear boots in the 90s in WCW. That's literally that fact. Okay, and then he left WCW, but didn't go to the WWF. He went somewhere else.
Oh, they're not that. I can't think of that many defactors other than Sting. But it's not Sting because he's a Hall of Famer.
What other companies could he have gone to? That's what you need to be thinking about.
Exact TNA?
No.
Subtract a point. What other companies were around besides?
Oh my gosh! How do you not know this? Because I still hold the best record, and I'm going to speed this up.
I was the hardcore champion.
That's not entirely the hint, but this might help you pick out the company.
Oh, ECW.
Yes, sir.
I was in ECW. Wait, clarification. Was I in the WWE's version of ECW or the OG ECW?
Probably both. Definitely OG.
Holy shit, I'm Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam, yes, sir. Oh, Mr. Monday Night, here he is.
Honestly, that figure was no help. I couldn't tell what it was.
I know. And since you got it right, we're going to let Mr. Hollywood Hogan breathe.
I'll give you the room.
Oh, you don't have to. I'd like to see your reaction.
Oh, okay.
All right, ready?
We had a comment.
Oh, we do.
We did. He asked if it was Papa.
Oh, Shango? No.
But yeah, Papa Shango's who I was thinking of. That he meant. But no,
I do love Papa. I do love me some Papa Shango. Now, do I open it in a way that I could potentially keep the box? I don't know. I'm opening it anyway because the bubble is turning yellow. Which
I would rip it to shreds.
Really?
Yep. Like in to 3,000 pieces.
Why? Because you want me to hurry this up?
No, because I want you to destroy something. Because I wasn't able to beat your score today.
All right.
I didn't know Rob Van
Stab it
Dam
with
was
my
ever in
lightsaber.
WCW, honestly.
He was, and he didn't wear boots.
I didn't know that.
Googled
So
it.
the WCW thing was what throwing me off the most. Like, because there wasn't many guys who went from WCW that didn't go to WWF.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, who the fuck was there? There
Well,
wasn't
and
much.
I guess honestly, I don't know when the exact day he went to the WWF or if he ever went to it before it was WWE. I really couldn't tell you on that.
I want to say
But I feel like I'm right.
I don't think he was.
I think he went
I
straight.
think he came around Ruthless Aggression era, wasn't he? And that would be
I
WWE.
think he was definitely Ruthless Aggression era. But
And
Rob
that would
Van
be
Dam,
WWE, not WWF.
I don't think Van Dam wrestled in WrestleMania 19. He definitely wrestled in WrestleMania 20 as a tag team with Booker T. Oh, I bet I can get this out. Here we go. It's time, Hollywood. I don't think I'm saving this box. Just gonna put that out there. So, I don't know why I got this. I think it's because I would like to own a good WCW, 90s figure of the New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
And the one I have is nice, but it has magnet fists, and this one, it looks so good. Time to breathe, baby. Oh, man, and you can really see, I don't know if you can see how yellow this still is, but man.
Oh, I can.
Like, it's trash. Oh, stinks.
Does it have a scent?
Yeah, it smells like old.
Oh,
It
geez.
smells like sun-faded plastic from the 90s. Alright, so it comes cool. Alright, some solid steel steps. That is cool. This actually is a pretty sweet figure. I hope that's dust on your head, sir. Okay, cool beans. But it's actually, I mean, other than his weird kind of face, I don't know if you can see this real well.
Oh, man, he looks like a weird version of Dr. Octopus.
But just wait, he'll be in there. But he comes with a removable NWO shirt, his Hollywood Hogan belt, and one thing that was really cool about the Toy Biz figures, like there's some sort of dial on here. I don't know what it does, but they always have the coolest little extra moves and whatnot.
Is that one of the sweaty ones?
Oh no! The WWF Maximum Sweat.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah. The Maximum Sweat figure. What a weird idea.
My buddy Doug had one of those back in the day, and he put red food coloring in it to make them sweat blood. And then they got ruined. Then they got ruined. I'll never forget it. It was hilarious. Anyways, so yeah, that was 20 questions, and that was me opening up this super old... Well, probably not super old. We're from the 90s, so...
Yeah. Should we go into our last segment if anybody's here?
Yes.
All right. Our last segment is Who Dares Question Me? In this segment, you can ask us anything. Anything wrestling related. It doesn't even have to necessarily be like, who do you think's going to win this? It could honestly be fantasy booking stuff. So, on the first week, we did even, like, who would you cast in a movie as the Avengers if they were wrestlers? You can ask anything as long as it has somewhat pertaining to wrestling. It could even be fun stuff.
So I did have one of my friends ask me a question earlier this week, and I was going to bring it to the show just because I don't think he knows how to email. His name is Joey. If you're watching, you know I'm talking about you, Joey. But he had asked, who should win the title belt off of Darby? Like, who should it be? Who's the deserving, like, person? And because he and I were just, because I was talking mad crap about Darby and that skateboard incident, and then we got in this conversation about who should win the belt from Darby. And in my opinion, it should be the Hangman, Adam Page. They need to put a belt on him.
I would say Hangman, just because I want him to have a belt.
Yeah.
He's more of a tweener right now. I'm gonna lean towards Miro.
See, that was my other. Yes, I was thinking that too, because after this wedding,
which is gonna be horrible, I'm sure.
I can't imagine. I think is when they're gonna start to do something with Miro. I hope.
I hope so.
I really have no idea.
Or, I'm gonna stick with Miro. I think Miro's gonna be
Agreed.
the one. I guess question for you: who do you think will win the Royal Rumble this Sunday?
Is Shinsuke Nakamura in it?
Yes, he is.
Unfortunately, I think it's gonna be him.
Dude, he's been on a tear lately, though. Honestly.
I know,
and he turned back to face, and he got his original music back.
Yep. That's why I think it's gonna be him. However,
I know how. An actual question. How much? I think it's how much.
Oh, how much longer
will MJF keep hanging out with Jericho's group?
Until we get fans back, and then Jericho and MJF are gonna feud, and it's gonna be like a 3 pay-per-view type thing, I hope. And then the final match is gonna be at, like, I don't know, their biggest pay-per-view of the year. I don't even know what that's called.
Jericho will end up turning face for sure.
Yeah, because there's no way MJF can be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a timetable. It's hard to predict because I'm with you on that. I think it's gonna be when we're able to have bigger live audiences for bigger reactions.
Yes.
I could be wrong.
And
it
I think
happen at Revolution. Who knows?
I honestly feel like they're gonna put the titles on them too. Before this major blow up, they always are going to have the 2 best friends, and they were champions, and then it was bad in the bad times, and now they're fighting, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. I don't know. That's just what I think might happen, because that's just your typical wrestling story. But I hope they do it better.
AEW is hard to predict for the most part.
To kill.
Yeah. Impact as well is really hard to predict.
Yes.
WWE for the most part, you can generally predict who's gonna win what. The only time it's ever in doubt is usually Royal Rumble time, and that's just because there's so many competitors and they push so many at a time to get you disfigured or just thinking funky. Right. I said disfigured. I didn't mean disfigured.
Well, I get what you mean.
I think my picks for the men's Royal Rumble, at least, I think I said earlier, I think Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley will win the women's. But I do think it's either going to be either Keith Lee or Daniel Bryan, realistically. Daniel Bryan or Keith Lee are going to win. But who I want to win is Jay Mofo White.
If he shows up.
I want it.
If he shows up and doesn't win, then we know WWE's going to suck.
Dude, could you imagine being Jay White, showing up at the Rumble, winning, going on to face Roman Reigns or Drew McIntyre? Who cares? Either one of them. Mm-hmm. That's a freaking moneymaker match right there.
It would be, but it would also be a colossal slap in the face to Keith Lee, CM Punk. Yeah.
CM Punk?
I hope he shows up.
That's never happening. Give up on that.
I hope he shows up and he wins, because the WWE has been known for just letting any veteran walk back in and win the title or win the championship or the Rumble.
Not a fan of Mox, but wasn't it great seeing they held that D-bag?
Yeah.
I'm not a Mox fan either, honestly.
I've never been a Mox
fan. I never really
fan.
have been. Even when he was Dean Ambrose, I didn't care for him.
Yeah.
And I haven't liked his Jon Moxley run either. I like his promos.
Yeah, I mean they're all right.
In the ring,
He's not that good.
No.
I mean his big finishing move is a DDT. Oh boy, it's not even that cool. You don't do it in a different way, you know.
Hey Joey, what's up?
What up, Joey? Just the person I was talking about.
Calling
Lesnar returns.
Wins the Rumble, wins the.
I would be honestly. I'm a Lesnar fan.
I hate that.
I
would not be shocked if that happened. I would just slap my forehead and be like, "What?" They had so many other talent that could have had this spot.
You know, it really should be Keith Lee. Out of anybody, I think it should be him. He's the most deserving, but unfortunately the WWE knows how to screw people, and he's one that will get screwed. And along with Shinsuke. If Shinsuke doesn't win this either, if he or Keith Lee don't win, then there's a problem. There already is a problem, but there's going to be a bigger problem.
There's a potential that he wins a second Rumble. He has won a Rumble before.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's potential, but I think Keith Lee is a viable option because they're pushing him for so long, and then they kind of put him on the back burner. I think they might have done that to, like, suspend our belief that he could do this. Also, the Daniel Bryan thing, I think he's done everything in the WWE. You name it, he's done it. The only thing he hasn't done is win a Royal Rumble.
Run. Have a successful, long championship run.
And he's never won a Rumble.
Yep.
And that's what people wanted, was for him to win the Rumble. It might be 7 years too late, but that's what they wanted.
If he comes out number 1 or number 2 and wins it, I'm going to be mad. Oh, that would be cool. I'm always up for a Cena return in hopes that it's going to be the Doctor of Thugonomics. How great would that be? Cena comes back heel and kills it.
I don't see it happening. I think if Cena's ever going to return to WWE, he will at some point. But I think when he does, he's going to want fans to be there. And there are going to be no fans of the Rumble as far as I know. Have you heard differently? I don't think there's going to be any fans.
I haven't heard anything.
Just canned in noise, which is unfortunate.
I don't know why they can't do like what NXT did for NXT TakeOver, and have the big fans cage and then one person in every.
Bring out the entire NXT roster and have them at ringside. Why not?
Literally just do what your counter, the enemies are doing. Just copy them because that's how you're gonna win.
Yeah, very true.
Steal shamelessly.
Well, thank you everybody for. Oh, we got one.
What do we got?
One more here before we sign off here. Fiend screws Orton in Rumble, probably. It's either gonna be the Fiend that screws Orton, or it's gonna be Edge to finish off those storylines. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be one of those two.
I wonder what's gonna happen.
My money's kind of landing on Edge to get his revenge, but we'll see. Because Edge he's gonna be in the Rumble, so
if Edge wins the Rumble,
I'd be fine with that.
That would be epic.
I want Christian to be in the Rumble.
I hope
and have Edge and Christian in the same ring.
Yeah,
just for a little bit. Just give me that. Just give me like the 10-second pose again.
Mm-hmm.
I want it.
I hope we get some good surprises to come back. I hope we get people called up from NXT.
That's all I'm waiting for.
It's
That's
been
the
a
only thing I care about.
Time since I've enjoyed a Royal Rumble. I'm probably 2004.
Dude, I liked last year's a lot actually.
I get mad. I'm all about who's coming back. Who's that savvy veteran that you haven't seen in forever that makes a comeback, like Diesel that one time, or just anybody, and not like Shawn Michaels or Triple H, like someone cool that you haven't seen in forever.
I liked the Rumble where Styles debuted.
You know who's gonna screw over Randy Orton? Mark Henry.
Why?
Because of that little scene. Why would they just have him run into Mark Henry on his little scooter and not have anything happen from it? You made fun of me on my scooter. I'm a big guy.
He literally lit the Fiend on fire. That's a way more bigger story than running into a guy on a scooter.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I don't know.
There's so
It's
many
time
different
to
people.
go. We're at an hour. Thanks for tuning in,
Thanks
you
for tuning
guys,
in
and
to
for
our
all the
new time
questions.
slot. New time
Yes,
slot
our
every
new
Friday.
time slot. Fridays after SmackDown. Probably about 5 to 10 minutes after SmackDown, depending if it runs long or not.
Yeah.
So after SmackDown, just be patient, and we will be live every Friday from now on. And I want to do a really quick shout out to my other channel, The Gorekeeper, because I have a really special announcement that I announced today. I do host a horror podcast, and I have a horror channel. That's why all this horror stuff is behind me. That's what I do other than wrestling. There's a YouTuber called That Fat Samurai Guy, and he does weekly live streams every week. He does movie reviews. He does a series called Is It Really That Bad? And he always has guests on. Well, I'm going to have him on my channel as my guest.
Lucky.
So I'm super excited about that, and I can't wait. So go over to the Gorekeeper channel. It's gore, like as in blood and guts. Keeper, all one word, Gorekeeper. Search for that on YouTube and go subscribe if you're into horror at all. We're going to be talking about a list I found of the 50 best 90s horror movies ever made, and we're going to run it down, and we're going to talk about whether we agree with it or disagree with it, and should be a lot of fun. And just like this show, it's going to be full of tons of fan interaction. So even if you're a mild fan of horror and you want to talk some 90s horror with us, please join us and do that. That'll be this Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. And there it is.
Yeah, blurry, but I'm trying.
There's my channel.
Go subscribe.
So Monday at 5 Central, be there. It's going to be fun.
It'll be square.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Also, we're going to do another Tyler's First Time at some point. That is happening. That series is not done.
No, we are not done yet, baby. And with that being said, I am Mr. T, a.k.a. your judge. And tonight was a great night. And thank you, Gorekeeper, for another epic night. Our new Friday Night Live. It has a great ring to it. It always sounds good. Look forward to seeing us next week, where we are going to talk about the Royal Rumble. A lot, probably. A lot is going to be about the Royal Rumble. So look forward to that. We'll probably be live tweeting the Rumble on Sunday.
I definitely will be.
On the Shooting Star Press. I'll be commenting, so go check us out on Twitter at TSSP Wrestling, right?
Yep, TSSP Wrestling.
On Twitter. We've got YouTube, Facebook. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit whatever notification bell. I don't even think any of that really matters, but just go do it. And we will see you next Friday.
Sounds good, my friend. Thank you guys all so much. As always.
Too sweet, baby.
Too sweet.
For life.